My angels, I hope you're well. It's Sunday and myself and my little doggy here are we were just taking another nap. We've been napping a lot lately. She's still napping because the spirit was not speaking to her while she was trying to fall asleep. This had a sense of urgency to it because I suppose spirit is a healer, an advocate for your becoming, for your healing, for your growth. And there is such a beauty, and I guess that's why I'm starting the message this way, and knowing that your creator and the spirit, the spark that dwells within us that speaks, is always for your good, always looking out for you, always wanting you to flourish, to grow, provoke and challenge, but also comfort, nurture, and heal. And there's a masculine and a feminine quality to you always having everything you need in God, right? However you see that, there is always the creator who made you is ready to see you through every step. Makes me a little emotional saying that, but you will always, regardless of if you have parents you can connect with or you don't, that 222 on my clock, you always have a divine parent who is ready to be whatever you need. So this morning I feel the message is coming to you urgently because I think you're on the precipice or at a kind of final checkpoint of having to face the thing that you've been running from. Or I just see the picture. It's funny. I see a picture of somebody just running around a pole, and it's like the pole is there right in the middle, right? It's like what we would think of as a pole. Sorry, that little hair is bugging me. But just running around it going, what am I running around? What am I running around? And the pole is pain, and it represents pain. And it's like, it's so strange because, so I'm going to share quickly with you. I have to share personally so you understand the message is coming through my body for you. So I have ADHD. I was diagnosed with ADHD in 2022. I've had it all my life, but however you see labels doesn't matter. That's not really what the story is about. So let's not get off on a rant on ADHD. I was terrified and resistant of taking medicine because I grew up in a homeopathic, naturopathic, Scientologist type setting. And although my father departed from that later, we're all still very holistic, and I had belief systems set inside of me that if you took medicine, you were sort of a weaker version. You were dependent on something, and it so I never took medicine, and I still to this day I won't take it unless I absolutely need it, because I always want it to work. For number one, I don't want my DNA to be encoded heavily with pain relief, etc., because that pain is there. Oh, this is so the message. That pain is there to tell me something's going on. So if I'm dulling it, then I'm delaying a diagnosis. I'm delaying a healing. My partner at the time was the one who actually said, you need to go and get diagnosed. You're burning out. And so I did, and I was not surprised to hear I had that, but I was surprised to find that my psychiatrist recommended that I go on medicine. I said no. I explained I would need therapy just for that, and he said to me, I challenge you to take it, and if it makes you feel more like the you that you've always kind of wanted to be, and able to just like process things slower, think through thoughts without the darting and the dashing and all that, then that's the proof will be in the pudding. So fine, I took it. It worked. I was shocked. I needed a lot of therapy because there was also a grieving process, and then there was like the constant cyclical, okay, it's working fine, but I'm still trying to come off of it because in the back of my mind is the belief system, right? Okay, this is not about that, but I'm gonna just flow with it. So I didn't take my medicine today. That's what I was gonna say. And I didn't take it because I thought, I'm just going to give my brain a break. I'm not working today. I'm just going to rest. And since I really was in that lucid morning time of waking up from my sleep, I started receiving revelation that it was like it was just coming. Not in a cruel way, and not in a aggressive way, nothing like that, but it was just like it's like, so how do I describe that even? You guys might have your own way of describing it. For me, it feels like something's on tap. It's like you're thinking, but you're thinking thoughts that they're just kind of higher than you. Like I wouldn't give, I know it sounds funny, but I wouldn't give myself credit for it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, that makes sense. Or the spirit putting two things together, that it's being in a relationship with somebody and them speaking to you, but it's not talking, it's not audible, it's their thoughts. And you are telepathically connecting with in an intimate way to where I'm just thinking your thoughts and your thoughts are higher than my thoughts, right? So that's wonderful. And it's overwhelming because there's still a part of me that is like, okay, enough. And I don't quite know why I resist it like that, but sorry, it was a bit warm, so I had to open my window. It's a little loud. But I suppose as I was lying there thinking, well, you didn't take your medicine. So this is what it's like without on my medicine. I still receive revelation, but I can kind of bring it in. I can process it. I can take it at my pace, if that makes sense. So if I'm being honest, it means I can control it a little. When I'm not on my medicine, it's like surrender. And I don't even know. It's like I wasn't created to live in society, because if I couldn't control it to some degree, I would just be at home all day, just sat there like that, or it's scary to me. It's scary to me to think of what life would look like. Okay, so, and I also felt that the spirit wanted me to tell you that I'm to share this message from a place of being the student, not the teacher. I am not a master of this subject of pain. I am undergoing my own process with it. But I was aware as I was falling asleep that I was processing all of these thoughts and thinking, oh, maybe I should go get my medicine right now. Maybe I should kind of mute things right now, because it's almost too much right now as it is. And I felt the spirit was sort of saying to me, is it painful? Right? And hold on. My mind is just swirling. I'm getting emotional, and it's just kind of all coming up. So that is a message for someone. When you get overwhelmed with pain, or rather avoiding pain has almost become a full-time job for you. That is why this is finding you right now, because you're wondering, what am I gonna, I can't, it's almost like if I take, how do I say this? If I start to look at it, it's going to consume me. I'm so afraid of the real pain that exists right in the center of me. I have ways of dealing with it, of running around it, of avoiding it, of managing it, of subduing it. I have done this all my life. And if I stop and I actually look at it, and I didn't feel that the word, I wanted to say embrace the pain, and I was corrected by the spirit. It's not about embracing the pain. That is a bit too pop psychology. It's a bit too soft. I don't think we're to embrace pain. And then I had a strange visual, sorry. There's a really beautiful bird, and it's just flying in circles up there, which is very interesting, because we're talking about going in circles around pain. I feel to go really, really slow with my mind right now. So I think that that is one of your instructions, is that so much of your energy has been spent on trying to manage it, but you're not really realizing that some of that energy that you're giving to that is meant to be spent on sitting with yourself and saying, hold on, hold on, hold on. I am worth stopping for right now. I am worth sitting. Okay. I'm hearing I don't like myself. I don't like myself. I don't like myself as I am. I don't know myself. I don't know myself. I don't like myself and I don't know myself. And it's like somehow that's the thought that's buried, or those are the thoughts that are buried beneath that pain. The first layer is you not wanting to look at it because you're afraid that what you're gonna see is that. And it's 13:31 on my clock, which is mirrors, looking at yourself in the mirror. I'm hearing let go, let go, let go. You might need to do some mirror work. You might need to sit in front of the mirror and sit past that place of uncomfortable, like I'm looking at myself and I'm thinking the thoughts about I don't like myself. I don't like my face. I don't like something that's reflected back to me. And you might need to sit in that for an uncomfortably long amount of time until you soften towards yourself. I'm going to get back to my story. So I was thinking of how maybe I should take my medicine and manage and control this. And I thought about, what is it that's so scary to you, Autumn, about the overwhelm of it, about the revelation of it? Well, I don't know what to do with it all. I can't possibly continue to channel and share all of that. It's just so much, right? Even if they are profound thoughts. And then sometimes it's scary because I think I'm not a good steward of this, God. Like it's so much that by the time I actually share, I forget, or I can't put it back together. And it's like, it's not about you. It's not about how you do this on your own. It's about you doing it with me. And that message is coming to find you to say, you are not alone in this. Who told you that you had to do this all alone? Who told you that you were made wrong, that you were not made right or better or quote unquote normal? Who has taught you that you don't like yourself, that you are not enough? Okay, and I just hear the Spirit saying, I am here now, and you are not the same as you were before when you were processing this. You are more stable now, you're more secure now, and it's time to look at this again. We're going to come, we're already here, so you're already in this moment. The cars that are going by right now, they're just really annoying me. Even the slightest sounds outside, even though I'm warm, so I have to have the window open, but it's just really annoying me, sounds. And I think you're a highly sensitive person who you're probably feeling annoyed. I had my last message, I could feel the same energy, and it was like, I'm a highly sensitive person. I feel the subtleties of everything. I can hear almost other people's thoughts. It's like, that alone makes you uncomfortable. It makes you impatient. It makes you grumpy. And you don't like that about yourself because you're judging yourself as that means I'm a bad person, or that's the wrong way to handle that. But in our weakness, God is made strong. What does that mean? That means that it is not, this is the problem with only New Age, I am God belief systems, because it is anytime you absorb the entire concept of God into one being yourself, you have already missed the most basic metaphysical principles of the whole thing. And that is that you cannot have I without the other. They don't exist, right? So other, God, however, that is your relationship, your outside in other relationship that cannot ever be dismissed. It cannot be avoided. It cannot be forgotten, because it's our primary way. It's the primary mirror into which we look to discover who we are, to remember that we're not alone, to see our higher self, to get through and overcome the pain and the things that we're having to look. It is the great mirror in the sky, if you will. It's and anything that takes that out or depersonalizes that relationship is doing you the greatest of disservices, because you will never know who you are outside of relationship. And I'm going to deviate here for a minute. The message I was getting yesterday was somebody was saying, it's like almost somebody was being really defensive, like, I know myself, I know myself, I know who I am, I know myself. And this hyper focus was put on knowing yourself, right? Who was it who said, above all, know thyself? No. Yes and no. We are living in a day and age where pop psychology is pulling from the ancient world to say, you knowing who you are and being who you are and knowing who you are is the most important thing about you. It's not. And actually, I could hear the spirit saying, if you get focused on knowing yourself, it's about yourself, it's about knowing yourself, you are in an I relationship. There is not, when you're in a relationship with someone else, you see yourself through interacting with the other person. It's not meant to be like this static, like, now I know myself. It's meant to be, you are infinite. You are unfolding. You have to do that journey with someone else, because as soon as you stop doing that journey with someone who can be trusted, who knows you, who, and not always, it's not always with one person. I don't mean like that. I mean, you see yourself through your relationships with other people. You see yourself through conflict. You see yourself through intimacy. You see yourself because how the other person looks at you refracts that light back onto you, your light back onto you. And if the end stop goal is I know myself, then you've decided you have a beginning and an end. You don't. You are eternal. You are a spark of God, the real God who is becoming. And so you are infinite in that same way. And I don't mean that you are the creator. We are not the creator. We are the created. Let's be clear. But we are little creators, and we are becoming like our Father. We are becoming powerful creators. I hope that makes sense. That's going to make sense for the right person. Take the goal, the anchor that you know yourself. Take that out of the equation, and what do you have left? That's the question. that the Spirit is asking. Because what if knowing yourself can be an unfolding, ongoing adventure? Feeling like you need to know yourself is really a game of control, because you have been so hurt by life that you lost yourself. You let yourself, you really didn't have boundaries. You didn't have security. You didn't have strength within yourself to stand up for yourself, to communicate and voice for your own spirit. And that's okay. But you have more of that now. And the Spirit is kind of saying, look, that got you through to this place because I wanted you to develop boundaries. I was teaching you boundaries. I was teaching you putting yourself first. I was teaching you self-love. Okay, but I was never teaching you that you had actualized the knowing of yourself, because you're lying to yourself, first of all, because you don't know yourself. Not like I know you. And if I know you more than you know you, then you have more things to know about you, right? So if you say, this is who I, no, you're more than that. You're more than that. But if you keep holding on to that, you're going to push the journey of seeing yourself. You're going to stop it. You're going to stunt it. So let go of that. Pull up anchor. Let go of, I know myself. No, you don't. And I felt to say that. It feels really to say that. I don't know myself. I was lying here in my bed thinking, oh, I don't know about this coming. I don't know about not taking my medicine. I really like to control that. I really feel I'm a better use to society if I can control and slow down my thoughts. What if I can't? What if I feel out of control? How scary is that? What kind of pain does that bring up for me? That's the question. And I'm not going to just sit in it all day and be like, oh, no. It's more like, okay, today I'm just going to leave it. Just going to keep leaving it. I'm scared. I feel out of control. But this is what it looks like to face the pain or the fear. It's just keep going. Now here, I had Holy Spirit help me with this one. I was lying there and I was having this one thought that kept going around in a circle. I was seeing the Christ. If you believe that, if you understand the story, of everybody pretty much does, understand this story of the Christ on the cross, Hamashiach, right? Yeshua's giving up of his spirit. So I was seeing the ultimate pain modeled through a human, divine, fully human, fully divine, going to this cross. And I thought, okay, the first thing I saw was he's the statement, remember this is nobody put me on this cross, but I willingly gave myself to this cross. That is so important, because a lot of people say, you did this to the Christ and you didn't know. The statement is made by Yeshua himself. Nobody takes my life, but I willingly lay my life down, which means I am staying in my sovereignty through pain. I am looking at my pain from a place of authority. And whereas you feel and I feel like if I look at my pain, if I face my pain, if I stop running around this pole and look at it, I'm somehow becoming, I'm going to be threatened. It's going to expose something that is going to take my power. And so therefore I have to control it. But it is with my sovereignty that I come off my medication today. I don't like it. I'm feeling a bit out of control, but it is my choice. And therefore, the strength of God, the sovereignty within me, the spark, is made perfect in my weakness. It is the divine and the flesh coming into a moment of understanding this is present time. This is the frailty. This is the weakness. Okay, now a second thing I saw was the Christ with his arms out, Yeshua, not embracing pain, I'm sorry, but nailed to the cross. So what does that tell me? Forcibly put into a position. Yes, he chose to lay his life down, but he was forcibly put into a position of openness. Not I choose, like this is me opening my arms, but society, this 3D structure that I'm living in, chose these conditions for me to experience this surrender. Okay, now you're experiencing your pain in the midst of a society that has put its structures around you. So your divinity, I'm made perfect in his image, my perfect divinity within who I am, is still, it's still contending with this 3D realm, the way that things are now. It is in this place that I confront the pain, that I choose to look at the pain, that I choose to let the pain come at me. Okay. The next thing I was seeing was a couple weeks or maybe months ago now, I was doing, I posted about the Michelangelo's, the sculpture where the chipping away at the sculpture is the revealing of the divine creative thing. And I was seeing the Christ splayed open, and then I was hearing him say, what is it, what, I can't say it in Greek, I'm terrible with Greek, but he says whatever, my God, why have you forsaken me? Anyways, it's okay, you don't have to say it, Autumn, it's okay. My mind is like, where's the Greek? Sorry, gotta get a drink real quick. I'm seeing him in that position, and then I'm seeing the torture that's kind of done to him externally. And I was seeing that knife, that sculptor's knife. I was seeing that pain is like that. We're scared to face the pain, but the pain is the thing, it is real pain. It's not to be denied. It is the very opposition that is coming at us externally, that is actually the tool through which your creation, your story, your shape, your form, your beauty is created. That's why it's so important to turn and face it, because it is that very pain that reveals who you are. Does that make sense? That will make sense to the right collective. It's like you've been running around this pole going, I know who I am, but actually you don't, because until you turn and face the pain, you can't be revealed to yourself or to the world. I saw the Christ saying those words, why have you forsaken me? It is in his very identification with truly feeling abandoned, the pain of abandonment, that makes him the most relatable, the most perfect model for humanity. Because what is our greatest pain? If we are created to be in relationship, I with other, because why? Because we are all one, because we are supposed to feel that we belong to each other and to our Creator and to ourselves. If ownership is the greatest pleasure and prize, then to be abandoned is the greatest betrayal, and it's the greatest pain. And to avoid the feeling of abandonment and pain is, people will spend lives and maybe lifetimes avoiding it, because it's the scariest thing. It is the thing that takes the most courage. But this lifetime, this time is the time when you, as the breaker, break the curse of the fear of abandonment by facing your pain, by facing the pain. This is why this message is finding you, because your final checkpoint is not letting pain master your actions, master your decisions, and ultimately waste your existence, your time here. Okay, I saw the Christ give up his spirit, and I saw that as he hit the final words, the final checkpoint was the recognition that he had been abandoned. He had, because God equals good, right? God equals goodness. If goodness has abandoned me, then I cease to exist. There is nothing worth living for. There's nothing left. Existence doesn't exist without good. And the acceptance that he has been abandoned, that I have been abandoned, it's the final death to the ego, the false God within. Why? Because what we know happens, we know because of what the Christ did, what he revealed. The next thing we know is that that is not the end of the story. The grave, the place of resting, after acknowledging pain, after acknowledging the truth, there's a rest period. We think it's death, we think it's over, we think it's final, but it's the quiet place beneath the wet soil, in the roots of life itself, that a seed of something truer than that comes forth. And it makes me so emotional. Because only a few ever go to that place, and you are going to this place right now. And I want to stop and tell you how brave you are, how amazing you are. And who are you? Who are you? Do you remember who you are now? A little more. Hearing this, do you remember who you are? You would not be sitting here, and you would not be still listening to this video if you were not who you are. Okay. You are now descending in the depths of the grave of rest. And the story is not over. And what's happening right now is these words are finding you to, like the soil around you, it's like you're actually being nourished by this, because this is where the real magic of the other happens. Oh, you think I abandoned you, did you? No, that was just your ego. You thought you were gonna die to face this pain, and then you did face it, and you did. And if you really accepted that there was an end to where you, knowing who you are, you found the end point of that. That's it. You are not able to do this life without me. And I say that to you because that would be so small. That would be such a small way to live. 36:36 on my clock. What is greater than that is to find that there is a resurrection power within you. And it's me. That's your creator. And it's you. You are the very thing I'm bringing back to life, but it's me. It's me and you. It's me and you, kid. It's me and you. And it is, that is the seed. You see? That is the seed of everything that is eternal. It's me and you, kid. That's just the phrase I keep hearing. Your deepest, deepest need to know yourself is not in knowing that you can master the things on this earth or that you can be okay. Your deepest knowing is that I'm with you and you're with me and we're eternal. And I am good and you are good. Because I'm good, you are good. You are valuable. You are worthy of resurrection, of keeping alive, of sustaining. And this message is, if you hear me say nothing else, the magic, when I was lying there going to sleep, what I saw was the Christ in the resurrection time. It's like that time where that life energy, that life force begins to bubble back up, and all of a sudden the eyes open, and you could say the morning light comes, right? His mercies are new in the morning. There's a reason why that phrase is what it is. Because when your first thought every morning when you wake up is, oh, I'm alive. Oh, and that's what I hear you saying. It's like the first, before you even consciously think it, it's like another day. I'm alive again. It is meant to be the first kiss of the day from your Creator. Because if you were not worthy, if you were not truly valuable, you would not be resurrected every morning. And every single morning that you wake up, the first thing the Spirit is saying to you is, yes, you are worthy. Oh, yes, you are. Oh, yes. You are not just worthy, but someone who's hearing this message, you've recently felt almost like the Creator's gaze on you, or you feel it regularly, just like right when you wake up, you feel you're not alone. You feel the sacredness of that, if nobody else tells you all day. Oh, yes, you are worthy. Yes, you are. You will live. You do live. You live another day. You live another day. You're alive for a reason. Because you are valuable. Your life is valuable. And no, you don't know yourself entirely, but that's okay. Because as soon as you let go of that as your God, if you will, you're going to find limitlessness. Once you let go of that false belief, that idol of self, knowing thyself, once you realize the other 50% of that story is, I know you. You woke me up again. You are my center. You are what makes me valuable. You are why I don't have to know myself. You are why I can not have my medicine today and feel out of control, because you are sustaining me. And you will keep sustaining me. And every pain that comes at me, I'm not going to fear as much. It's still going to hurt, but I'm not going to fear it the way I've felt it, the way I've avoided it, the way I've spent so much energy on it. Because if you are good and I am good and I'm valuable, then that pain is always going to be just a place of exchange, of resurrection, of death and rebirth. What is painful is kind of your work, if you will. What is painful? What has you on that cross saying, why have you abandoned me? What is that thing for you? Is it just purely the feeling of being abandoned? Because you are not abandoned. You are not alone. And at the same time, you don't know yourself and you feel a little out of control, and that's okay. Or you've been afraid to feel out of control, and that's okay. And I was lying there having my nap, and the Spirit woke me to give you this message, and it's long and it's labored. It's taken me a minute to get this all out, but that's how these messages are going to be, you guys, because I refuse to have it all together. You know, I refuse to have to be all ready to do a video. I refuse to limit myself and my own worth by trying to avoid my own pain. Yeah. I am the student, not the teacher. I am the student, not the master of this yet. But I will say this, I will master pain. And you will master pain. But it will not be by avoiding it. And I do believe the Christ mastered pain by actually letting it go ahead. It just revealed the rebirth. Yeah, I feel to stop there. Okay. I love you, and remember who you are.